Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Fish Tank. My name is Fish. This is my tank, and don't tap the glass. It creeps me out. So, with that being said, here we are. First round of the New Japan Cup is under our belts. I think that's the expression. I don't know. But anyway, it's over. And this has been the round of upsets. I assume they're upsets. Again, this is coming from a guy that has watched 2 months of New Japan. So I don't know a ton about it, but I was fairly entertained. A couple matches were meh. A lot of the matches were awesome. And then there are a few somewhere in the middle. So let's go ahead and get started. We got 8 matches to review. I'm mainly going to touch on 3 of them. And then also just FYI, I'm only going to cover the actual first round matches that were on each of the cards on March 11th and March 12th. I didn't watch the rest of the show. Just because I don't have time. There's only 24 hours in a day, 7 days in a week, and I got stuff to do, man. But guys, this week, ton of stuff happened in the world of professional wrestling. Gonna be a lot of awesome episodes, so go ahead, hit that subscribe button, thumbs up this video, and let's get started with the first match of the New Japan Cup. Yuji Nagata taking on Tonga Roa. So, with this match, it was fun. While it lasted. What I really do like about both Tonga Loa and then Tama Tonga is how they communicate in the ring, and I'll get to Tama Tonga's match next, but especially Tonga Roa, man, it's the simple things with me that kind of put people over, but the way he just kind of talked through the match, like he was kind of I guess putting down his opponent in a way that made him look tough and made the crowd want to get behind his opponent. Just like really small things that got me interested in the match. Now, this wasn't like the greatest match of all time. It didn't need to be. Kind of disappointed in the finish just from a fan standpoint. And again, don't know much about New Japan right now. But Nagata defeating Tonga Loa. So with that, he advances to the quarterfinals, and then in the next match, their names are confusing. I'm sorry, Guerrillas of Destiny. Tama Tonga taking on Toriyanu in, let's call it what it was. It's a fun little comedy match. Not the best wrestling. Again, it's not what it went out to be. It was, cute at times. Toriyanu ends up picking up the victory with the weirdest looking low blow. It didn't even look like he connected. So he wins, and then Tama Tonga just kind of almost no-souls it after a little bit. He just walks away. Not the best match, but, whatever. Bad Luck Fale in the next match taking on Michael Elgin. Why'd I say it like that? Michael Elgin. In a match of really big guys, and it was a lot of fun. Let me tell you though, Michael Elgin, that guy shouldn't be able to do some of the things he does at a guy his size. Like he's incredibly strong, incredibly big, like in a good way. But man, that guy can move. I seen him coming off the ropes. I remember in his match for the Intercontinental title against Naito, he did a running cannonball off the apron onto Naito, who caught him. But, oh man, that was incredible. And he did something like this in this match too. He ran off and I guess went for almost like a straight body, not a cross body, but he just kind of jumped on Bad Luck Fale, and Fale caught him. Like actually bear hugged him and then slammed him to the pole. It was a fun little big guy match with, surprisingly, Bad Luck Fale picking up the win. And let me tell you, I didn't put out my predictions for this, but I got 6 of them wrong. Maybe 5. I was up in the air with Sonata and Yoshi-Hashi, but I got a lot of them wrong. And hopefully, with the semifinals, or the quarterfinals, semifinals, and the finals, I won't get as many of those wrong. So, that being said, let's go on to the final match of the first night. Evil taking on Hiroshi Tanahashi. I'm sorry, whenever I see Evil come out, I can only think of SpongeBob, and then Mermaid Man, when when someone says evil, he always just yells evil, and it just comes into my mind. Obviously, evil. Every villain is lemons. You know, you gotta know that. But this was a really good match. The first time I really saw Evil in a high profile singles match. Like, obviously he's in the trios team with Sonata and Bushi, and they're the champs in the division with LIJ, Los Ingobernables de Japón. I'm pretty sure I got that close enough to being right. But it was fun. It was good storytelling, solid work. Anything with Tanahashi, the ace of New Japan, anything with him is going to be pretty good. And Evil definitely held up his end of the bargain. Really fun match. Great way to end night 1. And night 2 was even better. I think night 1 was a good setup for night 2. And night 2 was specifically made to be A, the better show, and B, to get everyone excited for the rest of the tournament, because I certainly am. So the opening match we have of the tournament, Juice Robinson taking on Yujiro Takahashi, the Tokyo Pimp. And again, fun match. One thing, though, I'll say about Juice Robinson. Seeing him in NXT as CJ Parker, pretty much only getting a hippie gimmick because of his awesome dreads. Juice Robinson has the potential to be a really big babyface, especially in New Japan. You know, he doesn't have to cut promos every week, which I'm not saying he was bad at cutting promos. I don't really remember him from NXT. But he has that ability to get the crowd behind him. He's so good at near falls, so good at those like desperate comebacks, that I really think with the right push, he can be a solid babyface champion in New Japan, whether it be the never openweight title, which I think is what he's going for next, or what they're positioning him as, or even the Intercontinental. I don't think it's going to be the heavyweight championship, not yet. Maybe one day, as he gets better in the ring and is around all those incredible workers, like Naito, like Gato, like Kenny Omega, Suzuki, Sabata. There's all these guys that he can learn from. And there's a lot of upside to Juice Robinson, and he's pretty young. I don't remember how old he is off the top of my head, but he's young, and he's not even in the prime of his career. But he gets the win after, pretty sure it's a powerbomb. I don't remember this. Don't remember the finishes of those matches. But one thing, I already said it. Great at those comebacks. Great at those near falls. Had me thinking Yujiro was gonna win. At multiple times, but Juice pulls out the win, and it seems like this tournament's going to be around pushing him a lot, getting him into that title picture, which I'm all for. He's impressed me in all of his matches. He's come up short in some of the big ones, like against Cody, like against Goto in the never openweight title, but he has done really good. So I'm looking forward to see what they do with him. Next match we have is Sonata taking on Yoshi-Hashi, baby. Oh man, I loved it when he did that against Adam Cole. Man, though, let me tell you, Sonata is a stud with a capital UD. This guy has the makings to be a really big guy in New Japan. You know, he has the physique, he has that awe. You know, him coming down to the ring with that skull mask is incredible. It looks so cool. It's so simple yet so cool. You know, and he's got the size, the athleticism, the speed. I think he just has that it factor. Not to be confused with Bobby Roode, but there's just something about Sonata that makes me want to watch him. And this match definitely showcased all of that. Yoshi-Hashi, again, also incredible upside. Really fun in all of the matches I've seen with him, especially against Adam Cole at Honor Rising. But one thing that I really liked about this match is that both men hooked in their submission finishers. Sonata's is the skull, and I'm not sure what Yoshi-Hashi's was. And they didn't tap out right away. Usually you see people try to, once they get into a submission hold, they tap out real quick, you know, to kind of avoid pain. But in this tournament, or any tournament really, where there's a prize at the end, it makes sense for the guys to really push themselves, really to take a beating, because there's something worth fighting for. which I don't see enough in WWE. Just throwing that as an example. I'm sure Ring of Honor and Impact and even New Japan at some point does it too. But it just, to me, it makes the person looking weak if they tap out right away. At least struggle for a couple seconds before you tap out. But again, really, really great match. Night 2, full of really great matches. But Sonata picking up the victory over Yoshi-Hashi, baby. And he is gonna benefit a lot from this tournament as well. Third match on night 2 was my favorite match of the tournament. And was my pick to be the best match of the tournament. And so far it's living up to its potential. It was Shibata versus Suzuki. And oh my goodness, these guys went out and killed each other. They throw some of the stiffest shots I have ever seen. Whether it be their forearms, their kicks, their submissions, even the chair shots. At one part, Suzuki started choking out Shibata with a chair on the outside. And the ref just kind of shoos it off, tells him to stop. But man, Shibata might be my favorite wrestler in New Japan, not named Kenny Omega. Again, his style, it's just so simple, but it works. He has that KISS idea in mind. Keep it simple, stupid. And it's just the strong style, the way he presents himself, the way he carries himself, and both of these men, for that example, feel like they could beat me up at any second without a heartbeat, like in a heartbeat. Especially Suzuki. Oh my gosh, Suzuki, he's not the biggest guy, not the fastest guy, but oh my goodness, he looks like he would beat me up, and looking at him, I am terrified. I think Don Callis, who calls New Japan, just started, really good. In his podcast with James Storm, he said that he's legitimately scared of Suzuki. Like, he just has that look, that aura about him, that even when calling his match against Okada for the heavyweight title, he just has that presence of, don't look at me the wrong way, I'm going to kick the crap out of you. And a lot of guys miss that nowadays, but both these guys put on a heck of the match. And one thing a thing that I really like about these matches is when both of them go for their PKs, their penalty kicks, and the other person misses at just the right time, and I can feel the wind from that kick, hit me a couple days later from across the world. That's how hard it looks like they're gonna kick him. But man, this match was fun. Shibata picking up the win, even with interference by Taichi. And just real quick before we get into the last match, it's so weird. Especially in this match, it was clear when Taichi got involved and Suzuki was distracting the ref. The arena erupted in boos. It went from quiet, because that's what they do in Japan. During certain times of the match, it's part of their culture, to just straight up booing, and it was loud. One of the loudest boos I've heard in a while. And the ref still talking to Suzuki with his back turned to Shibata. It's when the crowd's booing that much, you gotta know something's happening. That's just nitpicking. It's nothing really bad. I'm like, oh my gosh, New Japan, you're so bad. No, it's nitpicking. Just my personal preference, but it's whatever. And then lastly, upset of the night. To me and a lot of other people in America that watched New Japan, Ishii defeating Kenny Omega. Oh my gosh. I've seen Ishii in his Wrestle Kingdom 10 match, I think it was against Shibata, and he did great. I think he did even better in this match. Both these guys, again, so stiff. It looked like they were actually hurting each other, which is great. All the punishment Ishii went through, I think it was 3 V-triggers, a couple lariats, a couple of other really big moves, and still able to kick out. Same thing with Kenny Omega. He took a beating in this match. And he's so good at those near falls. Kenny Omega is, and Ishii to his point too. One thing though that I really did like about this match is in the opening match, and I don't think I've ever seen it like this before, was Ishii was getting out of the ring, and Omega was already out of the ring, kind of baiting Ishii out, and Ishii gets on the apron, and Omega hits a drop kick to the side of the knee, kind of like towards the, like, I guess it'd be the ACL area, and like Ishii's knee kind of goes in. It's like taking, Omega's taking out the legs of Ishii, taking out the power of Ishii, because Ishii had that advantage over Omega, and it was just something I've never seen before, and it looked really, really cool. It's just the little things that make a match from a good match to a great match. But as I said before, shout out especially to the last six guys really, who went on in the first round. Absolutely incredible. The reason I watched New Japan, if I had one criticism, I probably have two, about the first round of the New Japan Cup, is that I think the New Japan World website needs an overhaul. It just looks old. It looks outdated. It doesn't look modern. And there's a reason when you go on the WWE Network, it looks very similar to Netflix and Hulu. It's because those systems work. They're easy to use, easy to navigate, and it makes sense. Everyone's used to it. So I think the New Japan World website needs an overhaul. It's great that they got an English website, but I think updating the actual network site would be a huge step in the right direction. And then the second thing that New Japan needs to do is that if they're serious about this westward expansion, getting into the States, and really being a threat to being the best wrestling company in the world, they need to have English commentary on every show. The first night had no commentary, and then the second night only had Japanese commentary. Now, obviously that works in Japan. Japanese people are Japanese. They speak Japanese. For English people, it's still good. It wasn't like a turnoff for me, but I know for a lot of people it could be. And if they're serious about breaking into the United States, whether it be with a better TV deal than what they have, because I know on Access TV they are months behind what they're doing now. I think they're still at the G1 from last year. That was almost a year ago. They need to get a full-time English commentary team. I know Kevin Kelly's over there a lot. He wasn't there this time, and I think only the finals is going to be English commentary, if I'm not mistaken. I know, as I said before, Don Callis is the new color commentator, and he's done a great job. Really like him. Rocky Romero has filled in, and he's really fun. But they need to get two people to do it full time for every event. And again, for me, it wasn't a turnoff, but good commentary definitely adds to a good match. I think that's kind of why night one was a little bit worse in my opinion. Not just from an in-ring standpoint, just from an overall standpoint. It wasn't bad, but the lack of any commentary just kind of took me out of it. And then with only Japanese commentary, I'm used to watching, I remember when Ninja Warrior was on G4 and that was only in Japanese. If I'm entertained by it, I'll still watch it, and all the matches were great. I was still entertained. So it was cool hearing the Japanese commentators in the background, but I know for the casual fans, granted, New Japan isn't really targeted towards them, but if they want to get bigger in the US, they need a full-time US commentary team, or English-speaking commentary team. I think it's pretty simple. So the quarterfinals, as I said, we're in the book, first round in the book. Quarterfinals looks like this. So we got Evil taking on Yuji Nagata. Bad Luck Fale taking on Toriano. Oh my gosh, that guy is going to die. Toriano is going to die. Hopefully. I don't really like him. He's alright. He's good for what he does. I'm just giving him a hard time. This will be an interesting match. Shibata and Juice Robinson. That's going to be... I think this is going to be Juice Robinson's breakout match. The match that really pushes him over the top. And then Ishii versus Sonata, which will be another great match. I think it's going to be, the way they're having it set up is that they're going to have those quarterfinal matches take place over 4 days, so I assume 1 a day. The semifinals will take place on March 19th, and then the finals will take place on the 20th. And whoever wins gets any title shot they want, which is pretty cool. So, I think Ishii, I don't have the bracket right in front of me, I only have the quarterfinal matches, but if it's set up the way it's supposed to, I got Ishii winning, at least getting into the finals. And then Evil get into the finals. I think Evil will beat Nagata. Bad Luck Fale will beat Toriano. Again, I don't have the brackets in front of me, so I do apologize about that. Let me just pick the quarterfinals and I'll pick a winner. So I got Evil over Nagata, Fale over Yanu, Shibata over Robinson. Actually, no, sorry, excuse me. I'm just going down in order. Robinson over Shibata. I think Juice Robinson's going to win this one. And then Ishii's going to beat Sonata. And you know what? I think Ishii's going to win the whole thing. That's my pick. I don't know if I'm going to be right. But I'll cover all the quarterfinals, the semifinals, and the finals in one video. Because it ends later this week. And that's it for the first round of New Japan Cup, guys. This is my first experience with it. Overall, good taste in my mouth. Not every match was amazing, but the matches that need to be amazing were absolutely amazing. So guys, what did you think about the first round, and who do you got winning the tournament? Let me know in the comment section below. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe for more awesome content, and I'll see you guys next time.